This is called Be the Calm in the Storm. This is all about right now in these unprecedented times, how we can show up in our clients' lives, our partners' lives, our kids' lives, who we need to be at this time and in this moment. We need to be in extreme ownership of what we're doing, and we also need help as well. It's hard to ask for help sometimes. Being in communication with friends is extremely important. So to be the calm in the storm, here are the things that we need to do. Number one, Dr. David Rock was a neuroscientist who said that if you're not in reward, you're in threat. And it's these 5 things that put you in threat. And of course, 2 of them that we're going to talk about today is certainty of what's going to happen. People don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And autonomy, do they have control in the situation? Unfortunately, nobody has any control other than the control over your own world, whether you social distance, whether you are staying home alone, but you are in control of your life and only your life. And because the certainty and the autonomy have people in fear, basically the whole world is in a fog predicting a negative future outcome, or based in a situation where they're not able to predict what's going to happen, and they feel they have lack of control in their life, and that could start the spiral to depression. And the reason I'm doing this is because a big part of what we need to do is we need to be that support to people out there that will be struggling. What can you do? You can connect, care, and inform. Call your sphere and past clients, ask if they're okay. Just check in, how are you doing? If you are healthy and able, and they are in need, you can offer to pick something up and drop it off on their doorstep for them. This is a good phone call. This is a great connection. It's one that's showing that you care, which will have a huge ramification in your business with these clients moving forward. Number 2, provide information on banking deferral payments and the contact number. An excellent post by a mortgage broker who put out all the contact numbers for the banks to contact regarding the deferral payments. When you're having your discussion with your clients on the phone, you can provide them with your professional experience. You can align them with your mortgage broker. Also, what you can talk to them about is refinancing to access equity in their property if they're in hard times, or how to get a home equity line of credit. This is super important, you guys. These people do not have the information you have as professionals. Financing information to a lot of people is scary, and they do not have the ability to be able to find out that information. They don't even know what a HELOC is, and they could have access to as little as $10,000 right now, or 20 that would get them through the next 60, 90 days and provide them with that comfort, or at least it would provide them with that lack of fear. Community information, local updates, and food banks. I know, Scott, you're very involved in Sur Bank, and there are food banks that are struggling right now. And I do know that if you want to, you could do a social media post saying you're collecting food for your food bank, private message you. If they want to do that, you drive around, you collect it, you drive it off to the food bank. You'd be all by yourself, put on some good tunes, clean your hands with some nice alcohol cleanser, and make your commitment to your community. Now, when you're on these connect, care, and inform conversations, the rental rules for your investor clients, it's very important that you reach out to your investors and you let them know that the rentalsman has made the ruling that there's no evictions, and you have to make sure that if you have a tenant and they decide not to pay you full rent and they only pay you partial rent, that you have an agreement signed saying you are accepting partial rent only because of COVID, not because you're allowing the rent to change. Because if you don't have an agreement signed by everybody, it could turn out horribly, because the landlord would then have to obligate that amount as the new rent. So make sure you can go to the rentalsman, you can download their new rules, become the expert in that. You've got the time, we're all at home. So study that for your investor clients. Your brand, your image. This is so important, you guys. What story do you want people to tell about you when this is over? What's the story you want people to say? You were a leader in the community, you were ethical, you ran your business, you only worked with essential clients, you weren't out there just pretending like it didn't matter, making a negative impact on your community. What optics will they have? How will you be perceived? How will you be perceived by your Facebook and your Instagram? You know, if you're out there talking bad about people because they're not cleaning or they're not social distancing, and you're just being a negative influence in society, that will have an effect on people's perception about you. There's positive ways to see things. There's positive ways to shift things. Remember, you want to be the leader in this process. You don't want to create more anger, or you don't want to create more pandemonium in this situation. All your decisions on your all the decisions on your business should be run through your core values as a human being. Caring, dedicated, hardworking, integral, loving. If you make your decisions based on that, you'll be making the right decisions on whether or not to go out and do a showing or not do a showing, or take a listing or not take a listing. You need to have a purpose-driven business. Today, your purpose, and you're going to go forward with this one focus for the next, until we're back on the street and I can hug you, you are going to make a positive impact in your community. That is your focus. What can you do as a realtor and a leader in your community to make a positive impact? Is it a positive message on Facebook? Is it a video that you share that has updates on financing information? If we go back to the other slide, a great thing to do would be you could do a Zoom communication and record it and post it with a mortgage broker, talking about those two things we talked about, talking about accessing a HELOC, refinancing your business, refinancing your mortgage. So that would be a great video to do. That would be a way that your brand and your image would be impacting your community in a positive way. This way you'd be running a purpose-driven business based on your core values. And when you go to bed, you'll be a little bit happier and a little bit less depressed because you are making a positive impact. Communicate wisely with intention. Use your words carefully. Your future depends on it. In a time where we are now going to be totally into our social media, and we're going to be communicating through apps like Zoom and Loom, let's just make sure that you don't go off the handle, and you think about what you're going to say carefully, and then what you say it carefully, so that will impact your brand and your image in the future. This page here is so important, you guys. Make sure you run your decisions through your core values. Now, we need to adapt our business. Obviously, times are changing. We need to adapt. Now that the one good thing that's come from this so far is the positive press that realtors are an essential service. I think Scott might agree or disagree, but I think that's the first positive media that we've gotten in a long time as realtors. So what I want you to do is use the language of essential listings and essential buyers. This will show that the people that are listing not because they're just trying the market out, but because they are essential and they need to, and for the buyers as well. Create a protocol checklist, a PDF, and a copy for your clients. I've attached it in the chat. It was the first attachment. And in that attachment, it gives you an ability to send it out to the realtor that's showing your listing, and also to your client to show that you care, you're putting things in place, you're a professional, and you're creating a protocol in these times for your clients. Scott, you might want to read that over, agree or disagree with it, send a message out to your team or to your realtors if you think it's okay or not okay. It's just something that I had another realtor put together that he has allowed me to share. Adapt your business to your social media and your community updates. Be the reporter who reports the things that are positive in your community, like what restaurants are open, what small businesses are in service, what things they can do in their community, what is open, what is closed, what grocery stores are open and what their hours are. If you run a Facebook page, I believe Shelley Arding runs a Facebook page for Coquitlam, a portion of Coquitlam. Shelley, you could go on there and become the expert and just walk through and let them know which businesses are open for business and which food which restaurants are delivering. Follow up on all your closings and provide them with information, because the lawyers and the notary societies have all adapted as well. So you want to call the lawyers who are handling your closings and ask them what their new protocol is for the closing. And then you want to phone up your client and provide them with that information. I put this in here because we do have time on our hands, and this is a proactive way of getting ahead of something that could go wrong for your clients. So call the lawyers and notaries that are handling your closings, ask them what their signing protocol is, call your client and update them so they know that they're safe and that this is going to go through. Focus on where you want to go, not what you fear. What can I do in my business? This is the whole reason I put this thing together, is because I really want to be a resource, because I am calm in the storm. As you all know, I've done a lot of personal work and I'm not in fear. Fear does not work in my life. I have had clients that have put their business on hold for a short period, but I've also signed 4 new clients in the last week because I did what I could do in my business, which was I reached out like this to help people. And because of doing so, I've created opportunity in my business. The first thing you can do in your business is create, update, or elevate your systems. Create, update, or elevate your systems. Your listing presentation, your buyer package, update them. Update the picture that's on them. Some of you have been wanting to put an email signature in for a long time. Now you can take an hour to figure it out. Template checklists. So a checklist for the listing, a checklist for subject removal, a checklist for buyers, a checklist for mailers and your business and what you do in your business. You can update automated mailers. So on Paragon, every time you send out a listing to your client, there is a way that you can edit that email so it looks more professional. You can put your signature on it, you can put a picture on it, you can custom make the message. Right now there's a default message going out that everyone uses. Maybe you want to take the time to update your automated message on Paragon. You can create future drip campaigns for leads, listing follow-up on your CRM. Everybody wants to do it, but nobody can find the time because it is time consuming around technology. What better time to learn technology and to learn how to use your CRM than right now when you have time on your hands. Create a bank of video content for after the storm. Start shooting videos, edit them, put them in a nice cloud, put them in storage, and then when the storm is gone, you can start releasing videos on how to improve your home or tips to update your home. I did have a great conversation with a home inspector who his business is really slow right now. And I said, we'll talk to realtors about getting a pre-inspection done because people want to spread less germs as possible. And then bank videos talking about each part of the home when you inspect it. So we as realtors and people can access that information and learn. And because of that, he started to create a bank of video content about what he does in his job that he'll use later. We can do the same thing as well. You can bank interviews through Zoom. You can bank those so that you can release them later on your page as well. Now this one's interesting. Create group MailChimp lists. So MailChimp is an awesome program where you can create lists of emails that you're going to send out. And because MailChimp's on there, when they open it, you'll know that they opened it, and you can track the activity, and also for the disclosure and for the button that's needed for them to not want to be solicited. That's all in there and keeps you up the line on your protocol. The other thing too is how this works really positive. Make these lists. When you go to create an ad on Facebook, you can actually target your MailChimp lists. So if you had CMAs and you made a MailChimp CMA list, you could target that list on Facebook. So every time they're on there, your ad would run across their page. So not only did you meet them, do the CMA, now they're sitting at home and they see your ad running across, they're going to think you're the real deal. It's like a TV commercial targeted at them after you've met with them. Web pages, Instagram and Facebook pages, make sure they're all aligned. Same marketing, same brand, same picture, same colors. Make sure that you are as professional as you can possibly be. These are things that you can do in your business. Now, knowledge is the antidote to fear. You know, as I've spent time as a broker owner before, and Scott knows this, and Scott and I have had many conversations, our finances are sometimes our biggest fears. So you need to create a 30-day financial plan and ask the question, in 30 days, will I be okay? If the answer is yes, then you'll feel good. The answer is no, then we need to get some work done so you can feel good. What's your 60-day plan? Will you make it through 60 days? If you will make it through this, if you don't, and you can't make it through 60 days, what do you need to put in place? Do you apply for a Visa? Do you apply for a MasterCard? Do you get a line of credit? Do you access some of your savings? Do you get some of your RSPs? What do you need to do to have in place so that your finances are in order? And 90 days. If you need to make arrangements now, because 90 days you're going to be in trouble, start making those arrangements now. Don't wait till the 90 days is up and you're in full stress trying to figure out how you're going to be able to pay your bills. Interesting comment here. Realtor Jody Steves, she called up the bus bench company and they deferred her payments. They put her off. She didn't have to make 2 payments on 3 big bus benches. So everyone, make a call to the companies that you're working with and see if they're willing to defer some of your payments if you have a lot out there. If you're a client that has a lot of bus benches, they're going to appreciate you. They're going to want you. Make that phone call to see if you can get some relief during the COVID times. Reevaluate after 30 days. At the end of April, I want you to look and I want you to reevaluate and go 30, 60, 90 again. I want you to stay ahead in your finances. The biggest problem is we put our head in the sand because we're afraid that we're not going to have enough. And then when we don't have enough, it's too late and it makes it worse than it is. Get ahead of the game. Knowledge is an antidote to fear. All right. Now, if you want to connect through communication tools, obviously we're at Zoom. It's a live meeting and presentation where you can record it like you want to record a CMA. Imagine as if right now I was a realtor delivering a CMA to you and you were going through click by click on the comparables. If you can get some virtual CMAs, get them. Even if they don't want to list now, give them a virtual CMA and then you'll be ready to go when they're ready to go. And tell them that you're going to reevaluate in person the CMA because the market is shifting and going through some corrections right now. Zoom is free and all that does is allow you a 40-minute meeting. If you want to pay $20 a month, then you get unlimited time, you get storage, and you don't get anything more specific as far as the tool is concerned. You just get the longer meeting and the ability to keep them recorded. Loom is free and it can be $4 a month. Loom is one of the companies that's decided to drop their price to just help out with what's going on. In Loom, you can record the presentations and keep them in a cloud, but they don't have the ability to do live meetings. Google Hangouts. This is the easiest way, especially for your older clients. You basically go on to your Google Calendar, you create an event, you create a date, and then after you create the date, I'm just going to look it up here on my phone real quick. And when you create the date, you can go to add conferencing, and then you click on Google Hangout, and then you put the email of the person in, and they just have to tap on it because Google's on the computer and Google's on the phone and everyone uses Google. All the software that's needed is in there. So Google Hangout is the best one for the clients that might be a little bit challenged with technology. Ripple. Oh, do I have a message here? Hang on. Oh, Zoom has removed the 40-minute limit as a gift during this time. You only need to sign up for the free services instead of paying monthly. Thank you, Carmen Smith, for that share. Awesome. Ripple is a app that allows you to edit your social media easily and converting it into MP4 files so that you can then put them on your social media easier and they're not big files. Oh, what happened there? Create Canva. Canva is a social media post builder where you can import any picture and you can add any text and save it for your Instagram posts and your social media posts. And then there's Skype. If it's a sensitive phone call and the client wants that to be very protected, Skype allows encrypting on their calls, and you can download Skype. There's a free version, but if you're actually going to use it to make phone calls, you're going to have to use the pay version for phone calls, but you will be able to do a Skype call locally, and they are encrypted. All right. Next slide. Strengthen your mental health. In your chat box, I downloaded the line of communication tool that I use with my clients. This is so important, you guys. This is how you're going to wake up every day. This is the temperature gauge. Are you waking up above the line, or are you waking up below the line? And if you're below the line, you're in shame and blame and you're reacting. And that can become what Coach Keith calls the big shit spiral. And it can get bad. It can get bad fast. What you want to do is you want to notice when you're starting to be pulled down, and then you want to move yourself up above the line. And the best way to do that is to practice gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. And this word is going to be the most important word moving forward in these times. Acceptance. You cannot wish that things were better. You can't wish you could go to the gym. You can't wish you could go to the office. You can't wish that you could go meet your friends. If you wake up every day wishing you could do something, you're going to wish yourself into depression. You got to wake up and accept what's going on. You have to accept the situation, be grateful for what you have, get yourself above the line so that when you communicate as leaders in the community, you're leading your family, you're leading your daughters and sons, your husbands, your wives, your partners. You're on this conversation with me, and not everyone has access to conversations like this with a professional coach. So take advantage of it, make an impact in people's lives. Do your work. When you wake up, are you above or below the line? Breathe. Everyone can do it right now. Take a deep breath and breathe and drop your shoulders and loosen up your jaw and, you know, relax, because we're all tense right now. Remember, we're all in hijack. So it's almost just like, whew, right? Let that energy go. It builds up. Emotions build up. Emotions without motion become poison. All emotions need motion. They need to get released. If you talk about emotions with people, they automatically get released. So if I called up a client and I said, wow, sounds like the COVID has you stressed, and they go, yes, just acknowledging that stress will lessen it for them, because the brain, once it acknowledges it, it lets it go. Meditation or prayer. I meditate every morning. It's part of my routine. We're going to talk about building a daily routine. If you don't know how to meditate or pray, it's a great time now. You can Google it. You can do assisted mediation in prayer. You can do all those kinds of things. Podcasts, books, and music. Everybody should be having nice music in their environment. Put music on. It makes a huge difference. Books. Download some books. Maybe even start a book club. The COVID online book club. Podcasts. If you haven't heard it, I have a podcast called Master Your Genius, and I am on there, and I basically am talking to people and how they master their genius and their emotions to live their best life. There's 10 episodes there. Download it, watch it. It's a great op. Start a new hobby. Start something new. Look into doing something new. Start a new hobby. You know, I recently, some guy told me he started the stock market. Well, I don't know if that's the best hobby to start right now, but at least he started researching it and getting some education on that. And last but not least, have fun. Here's 2 things that I have done in the last 2 weeks. I have a pub night with my hockey team where we all show up on Zoom and we have a beer. And yesterday before, we had Hawaiian t-shirts on. So it was Hawaiian Day. And then I have also created a room on pokerstars.net that has a private table. and I create a Zoom chat, and we chat and play poker for a couple hours. Tonight we meet at 8 o'clock to do that. I saw something awesome. Actually, Sheila and Terry are in the room, and Michelle's in the room here today, and I saw them. They actually ordered food, either by pickup or skip the dishes, from their favorite restaurant there in Port Moody. And then they did a dinner for 4. They put their computers on the table, and they had a Zoom dinner for 4, which looked like a lot of fun as well. And for family members, as leaders, you could do a family dinner. Recently, I did one of these presentations for Jazz Sander this morning, and Jazz was really worried about his family. And I said, well, then create a family dinner. Like, you can order it from the restaurant, have it delivered to all the family at 7 o'clock, and everyone can Zoom in and you'll be connected. We need to be creative. We need to have fun. You need to think like this, guys. This is what's going to save us. Unless you're an introvert, then you don't want any of this. You just want to stay home. And you don't even want to hear what I have to say. But extroverts like me, I need communication, I need community, and I need people in my life. Mental health and routine. This is the other download that I've included in the webinar. And this is my Focus 30-20-10. This is my 10-minute daily process. In the top corner, you do your daily intention. My intention today is to inspire and help people to be positive. And then I do my gratitude. I'm grateful for my house and my wife. And then the third one says, I appreciate these things about me that allow me the things I'm grateful for. These are I am statements. I am loyal, I am hardworking, and I am committed. And then number 2, I go to the bottom and I look forward to something, which is tonight I'm looking forward to making spaghetti. I end my day at 4:30, and then I build my life. I'm gonna go for a bike ride. I've done my meditation, and I'm gonna make my calls, and I'm gonna do my webinars. So, set your alarm, make your bed, set your daily intention, gratitude, and your I am statements. Get dressed, wake up, run, walk, bike, set time to work on your business, have family time, make sure you take advantage of that. Eat smart, drink smart. Do not have a coping mechanism of a 6-pack of beer, a bottle of wine, and a bottle of scotch. And do not sit at home and just eat foods that are gonna make you feel worse than you are. This is where you can have accountability with your, I'm not allowing my wife to let me eat the baked goods she's baking, and I told her to stop baking. It's killing me. Life balance is really important. Communicate with friends as much as you can. Be that support in their life because you need it as well. AIM coaching. You can go to my YouTube channel, Coach Keith. I think I have over 50 videos you can watch. Some of them are short. They will help you in these times. You can download my podcast, Master Your Genius. Have a listen. Some of you will be future interviewees. I put it out to Scott McDonald, and he's coming on. Purpose-Driven Realtor Program. If any of you are out there and you don't know who I am or what I do, I've dropped the price of my program during COVID for everyone to have some stuff to download. Check out my Purpose-Driven Realtor Program. You can go to www.aimcoachingprograms for more info. I'm available for private and group coaching. And in the times of COVID, if you don't know who I am and you've never been coached by me, you can reach out. I will give you a free meeting so you can sit down and I can help you through this process and you can have an understanding of what I do. Finally, calm seas never made a good sailor. It's times like this that make us stronger. They make us better. What did you do today to create your legacy? And I'm just going to finish with this one short story. Recently, my mom passed away and I was able to do her eulogy. And when I was doing the eulogy, I had to do a lot of thinking of my mom's life. And I asked myself, what legacy did my mom create? And I found myself being kind of disappointed that there wasn't this massive legacy. And then through the process of her eulogy, people said to me, you know, Keith, you are her legacy. And I was like, wow, that was pretty impactful. And when there was 150 people in the room all talking about my mom's legacy was about friends and family and working and keeping them. The lesson I got from this was later on, I was coaching a young client about 35, 40 years old, young family, struggling, feeling overwhelmed that he's not enough and he can't do enough. And I told and shared him this story. And I said, you know what? My mom created a legacy in her world. And he said to me, he said, wow, Keith, that's really freeing. I said, what do you mean freeing? He goes, well, the way I see it is like this. Instead of me needing to make a legacy in the world, I just need to create a legacy in my world. And that took him from being like, what do I do to create a legacy in the world, to what can I do today to create my legacy in this world? Be the calm in the storm. Make sure you're reaching out, helping people. Create your legacy today. A calm sea never made a good sailor.